Sure. Yay!
Ooh,
We
finally.
did it!
Oh.
Cue, cue the music. Cue the music. Oh my gosh, how ironic is that? Cue the music. Yes, because we're here to talk about music today. And instead, we have been doing tests. They work. We go to do the real thing. It doesn't work. It's been so much fun. Yay!
Yeah.
So, welcome, as Danai always says.
Welcome.
We know that if people showed up and didn't stay around, they'll watch it on the replay. We know all the right people are here in this moment. We're just here to have some fun anyway. So welcome to you, and welcome to Danai, and welcome to James, and welcome to me, and happy Sunday.
Indeed.
So,
It is Sunday.
Happy Sunday,
well,
everybody.
it is in our world at our point in time. So that's kind of fun.
Well, I think even in, no, I was going to write Sunday. That is not where I have a
No,
business.
don't write Sunday. All right, so we don't know what's going on. Our StreamYard was a bit of a flop this morning. So we thought, yeah, let's just use Zoom. And we don't know what's showing and what isn't showing. And so we're just going to keep going. That's all we know. Danai's checking stuff out. She will be the only one who can see the comments at this point. So she's going to keep us updated if anyone is here. If you are here, feel free to say hi. Let us know where you are listening from. We'd love that.
Trying to figure out
And
how to something.
yes, as we wait for Danai to figure that out, I will just let you know we thought it would be fun to come on today to talk about something that we have in the making, in the brewing. And it's been so much fun playing and practicing. We thought we would invite you to share in some of that magic. Danai and James have been just wow, like creating, I think alchemy is the definition there of what they offer as their gifts. They are bringing together, and it is just going kapow with what is being the result. And so we thought we would talk about that. We'll just wait for Danai to get any technical things done, and then we're going to have a little chit chat.
It's a good opportunity for James to introduce himself, given that people don't know who James is. So while I do that,
Exactly. James, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I am James Fellows, and I am a music teacher first and foremost. And Danai came up with a good sort of a tagline as in terms of the music, sort of music channeling. And so that's I hesitate to call it music channeling, but that's what it is. And and I think for me it's been a bit of a process just acknowledging that, but it's been fun. And this is one of the things that's opened up for me and my relationship with Danai and Sheila as well. It's just been phenomenal, and
Nice.
it's been a lot of fun.
And wow, I've been having so much fun being on the sidelines, just supporting where I can. But you two are absolutely creating magic. So I can't actually let you bypass your introduction, James, without letting you indicate where you live in the world, because I think it's pretty
Oh,
special.
I'm in Ontario, Canada, actually Brantford specifically, which is west of Toronto, but that's where I am.
I love it. I love it. So just to point out for anybody listening that Danai is also in Ontario, although she is east of Toronto. And I'm in Alberta, Canada right now, which is very far west of Toronto, almost to the other side of Canada. But yes, this is a group of Canadians welcoming you today whenever you listen to this. So yay us, go Canada. All right, how you doing, Danai?
I've got things going. I'm just posting where I think I'm supposed to post, but
Okay.
I think we're good to go. I don't know that anyone will be on here because of the tech fun. But I'm just grabbing the link of our current live, which is very, very invigorating and exciting with all this behind the scenes chat. So
Well, You just carry on, you carry on, and we know that it is on. I can see it. We know that it's being recorded. So at some point, people will get to see all this fun goodness. So, James, do you want to maybe give us some background about your music and, how long has this been a part of your life? What draws you to it? I mean, being a music teacher, obviously you do love it. You've made it your career.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that's sort of, what I've been doing, what I've done. The interesting thing for me is I would say in the past year, 2 years, the what's changed for me has been how the music is coming through and what I'm allowing. So for me, the my association with Danay really sparked that connection to channeling, to sort of, there are many forms of channeling, but I think, for me musically, whatever comes through me, I've been able to translate to a certain degree in the music. And Denai's channel, I think she was the first to encourage me to listen to what they were saying and just play. And that
Yeah.
opened up a lot of things. And I had inklings, I had a few moments of sort of inspiration in the past, but that really sparked it. And then uh, to me, that's been the catalyst. And we, we have there's a certain chemistry, there's a certain energy that is created when we collaborate, and that's been really fun for me. That's been just, yeah, off the charts.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Like I said, I've just been on the sidelines and it's only been through these online meetings. So I can't wait for the day when it's live and we are all getting to be in the room, feeling the vibration of it because it just ripples through even on a screen. So I think there are
Yeah,
some
I
plans to someday make that happen.
absolutely. I think you're right. The live will be just phenomenal because
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to really be even more
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So I have not been attentive because I am that good. So,
All
um,
good.
yeah, I think there are people, a few people there, so that's good. At least somebody's there. So yeah, I met James on Zoom. I actually didn't know what he looked like until a little bit later, but uh, I was on a call and I decided to do meditation visualization. Um, and after that, after doing that on that call, you hear this little voice pop up. It says, "Hey, I just feel a really strong need to play." And I was like, "Okay, go." And then like just out of this little box with a name on it that said James Fellows, out comes this like beautiful music. And I was like, who is that? So, I mean, I anybody could have been like, I want to play. And then it's like smashing the keys and it's not like, but he like just on the spot composed a piece and it was amazing to see and well to hear that essentially. So then that day he reached out over email and we decided to meet and chat a bit to kind of run through the motions of it. But it wasn't until uh, a few months ago, a month ago, that I was doing a channeling course on a Learn to Channel series that I'm doing. And I asked James to come show off his ability to play on the spot and just compose right there. And while we were on that call, James was like, "Do you mean like simultaneously?" And I was like, "I had that thought, but I don't know how Zoom is going to allow us to play because, it's going to be my sound and his sound kind of fighting to get the attention on Zoom. And I don't know if anybody's been on a call where everybody tries to unmute all at once and say things and it's like very choppy. The best thing to do is sing happy birthday to someone in a large group. It sounds like the most awful thing with the legs and then the different voices and all those things. But anyways, very entertaining. So we tried it I channeled and he started to play. And, after that was done, which was only a few minutes, we just saw tears in people's eyes. And I was like, what happened? And they were like, they couldn't even like verbalize what the experience was like for them because it felt so beautiful to them. And I was just like, I was just trying not to mess it up. Like, just pay attention to James while he plays and then share whatever wanted to come through me at the time. So that's the interesting thing. But Sheila, you were there, but you were there in tech mode trying to make sure everything sounded okay on that. So we were playing with the tech.
Yeah,
Yes, it's funny because, oh, go ahead, James.
yeah, I just remember there was a synergy there. Like I could feel it, but I didn't know if other people were gonna feel it the same. And obviously they did. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was so powerful. And I mean, I could feel the energy of it, but you're right, there was part of me, since I'm there to help you moderate the calls in that way, and just noticing that it did seem to be, there would often be a pause because Zoom was trying to make sure you weren't talking over each other, as if people were talking in a meeting. And so it was fun just to say, ooh, what if we tried this, or what if we tried that? And because Zoom is advancing in its capabilities. And so the more we've researched, the more we're learning about how to allow you two to play together and not have any of those pauses or gaps. And so it's I just can't wait for people to hear the next, iteration, because the people who are in tears on that call, they heard it being so choppy. And so for them to hear it how we have it now, where it's so seamless, it's just going to blow their socks off.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your experience, because like the call that because people may not know this, but we've been practicing behind the scenes. I feel like we're rehearsing for something, but it's not like, when you for a musical performance, not that I've done this before, but a play or something, you're like rehearsing the same lines or the same composition pieces, and like what you're going to do. But when we go to this event, James and I have no idea what's going to happen. What we're doing is rehearsing to ensure that the sound is of the greatest quality possible. And this is going to be like a trial and error experience. So Sheila has been so helpful with me on my calls, and very intuitive with tech and all sorts of things, that we're like, come join us and let's do this. Let's set something up. But there was one sweet moment where, I have some regrets about it, but I'll move on from those. There was one sweet moment where the sound
Someday.
sound worked out, and the music was coming through well, and I then started to channel, and I couldn't decide, like James and I didn't talk before we went into this to say like, okay, well, what's our concluding point? So I was listening to how he was playing to find the sweet spot of like, okay, this feels like a wrap up. So then the channel will wrap up here. And I started to question it while I'm conveying a message. And then I think, oh, James is about to wrap up. So then I was like, okay, it's time to finish the message. And then it finishes the message and we both look up and Sheila's in tears. And I was like, was that okay?
Yeah, no, it was the whole thing just felt meaningful right from the beginning. Like it just speaks to your soul. And yeah, I was absolutely in tears. And that's not common for me. I mean, I do know some people who are quick to tear up, and there's always a good Hallmark commercial, whatever, that I might be there. But for me, this was instantaneous, and it was pretty comical because I didn't have like Kleenex around me or anything. And I'm trying to pay attention because I'm also wanting to offer feedback of, oh, this worked or this didn't work. And so I do still have that tech hat on, but it was so beautiful. There, yeah, it could have gone on forever. And so I do think we can we can trust that it ended perfectly because
Yeah.
it allowed us to know that it was possible. Because the fun thing, of course, is that we are so attached to that outcome again as we keep doing more trials, like, oh, not quite right. Oh, not quite right. But we do know there is a sweet spot there. We do know it's possible.
Yeah.
And so we do, I think it's been wonderful for us to, as any, experience of contrast can be, is like ask more questions, find out what is possible. And so we do have lots of great solutions to continue to try. But again, we know nothing's gone wrong because the power comes through. We just know that it can be like even better, which is so much fun.
Oh,
It's kind
and
of like
it's
trying a recipe, right? Or you try it like,
yeah.
oh, that was the best I've ever eaten it. And then you keep trying like, oh, that's good, but it's maybe not quite the same as what I remember that other one being. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And we have comments. We've got a hello or an hola from Gina. Kelly's hopped on and said that she felt it deeply and it was so powerful. So Kelly was one of the people who was there for the very first experience that was choppy.
Yeah.
And then Gina sent a bunch of emojis, which is not at all like Gina. So so thank you to you for being on the call or on the live, and then thank you to those who are sitting in the background as well, because we do have a handful of people on here. But it is an interesting experience to be on the side that's like very mentally involved while it's happening, because I can't like, I mean, on the event, when we do it for the event, I will definitely do my best to just let go and see what happens. Because, like, can you imagine? That's what I always think about. Can you imagine when I actually just let go, what will come? Because, like, there's some good, like, really, really powerful things that come through. But I'm sitting there going, no, no, it's got to be this way or it's got to be that way. And I'm like, playing with it and tweaking it and all those things. And it makes it very interesting to see that if I just let it go and just go with
Yeah.
the flow, and then James is stellar. Like the stuff I put him through when doing this, that like he is on the ball with this and making sure that he just keeps the music going. There's
Yeah.
obviously some moments of quiet, but it isn't like he just stops playing. It's just a pause in the music. And my channel, the experiences, if people's experience it, it has moments where it's like, oh, it's about to wrap up. Just kidding. Oh, it's about to wrap up. Just kidding. So, and he's got to be like, oh, it's wrapping up. No, it's not. Oh, it's wrapping up. No, it's not.
Well, there's
Well,
there's
can I?
always there's always an energy behind it, right? So, and this is part of the fun of creating, because we don't know what's going to happen exactly, and it's in that moment, right? The innocence, the play, the creativity just blossoms, and that's the magic too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sheila,
Well,
you
I
were
wanted
saying?
to just. I was going to speak to. I mean, I believe that all musicians, all artists, anyone who's ever in the flow, literally, because that's an expression that's very common. Like whenever you are in that flow, you're not necessarily thinking, maybe technically a little bit like I know what I'm doing, so I don't need to think about how to do it as much. I'm just doing it. That to me is very, very much of channeling that source energy within yourself. And my son is also a musician. So I know for him, a lot of it is technical, a lot of it is practicing so that you do know the notes to the song and the timing and all of that. But there does come that point where whether it's a solo or, within blues, doing improv, there is that moment where you just let it flow, where you're not thinking about, well, I know I should play this note next. I do believe that there is, once you're a professional, of course, and you feel confident in that skill, I think you do know, for instance, the structure of a good song. And you know that it should have this type of beginning, and this is what should go on in the middle, and this is the repeat of the refrain, and this is how it should end. And what I love about listening to James is that I am sure technically he knows all of that, but you're not thinking about it, right? Like you are flowing, because again, you don't know if Danay is going to keep talking or not. And so it is flowing in such a beautiful way that it all feels perfect. And for the fun for me to be on these practice type calls is he's playing, I'm almost already in tears, and Danay's talking. They're like, no, wait, stop. It was, it was crackling again. And we're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get to have the advantage of a unique channel every time, and the playing every time, and whether that's 30 seconds or 4 minutes before we hear something that's not working technically, and then we stop. So it is very much like a rehearsal for a play. Like, well, line, like I forgot.
Yeah. That's
Line, please.
Sheila, you made a really good point though, a really good point, and it's something that it was a awareness that came to me. Like when you train as a musician, right? Like you're learning certain things, you're learning chord progression, you're learning technique, da da da. There comes a point, and this is what for me happened was my mind uh, my mind goes blank in a sense. So I'm not thinking about, like, I have an awareness of what I'm playing, but I have enough technical facility to know certain things that will work. But then it's like I just go, right? And some of it is sound, some of it is just there are tonal frequencies that tend to come out, but it's like you said, it's that trust factor and allowing that is the secret. And it for me, it was scary at first, right? Because it's like, what's going to happen?
That's what happens though, is that that's what happens with channeling. You just don't know. You have no idea. So it's an interesting experience. One of the things that keeps coming to mind is sometimes when I channel, it comes out as slam poetry. So I don't know if either of you are familiar with slam poetry, but the idea that it's like speaking in rhythm, essentially. And it's spoken poetry, but it's so in the moment. I know there are people who will write slam poetry, and they will they'll plan it, and then they'll perform it, and they'll practice it. But when I let go and go into this experience, it just flows out of me. Like there's no planning. It's just letting go to my best ability because of my own sort of need for control. And it just flows. And the way it like pops is like, okay, talk now, don't talk now. Okay, say this here, wait for James to do his thing. And it's like I'm running through as stage manager while conveying message. And I know I'm not stage manager for those who are familiar with the Abe stuff. But it's more in line of like, pay attention to how the rhythm is going in the experience. So my mind is focused on that while I'm just relaying whatever the messaging is in that particular moment. So I have no idea, absolute no idea what's going to happen on the 15th. For people who are interested in being part of the ride, like come, it's a free event. And it's an experience that you're going to experience for the first time, ever, with James and I as the combination. And it's beautiful, but it may not be perfect, and I have to accept that. So
isn't it fun to notice that, you're creating this opportunity for yourself to really challenge yourself in many ways, because to let go of that control, to know that I got the technical piece of, waiting rooms or whatever, and James is trusting it. And so for you to quiet that little inner voice of, oh, I don't know if I want to start this way, or, which words to use, or is he almost done? Like we're getting all of those technical pieces figured out so that there is a comfort level, and to just continue to let go a little bit more and a little bit more, and to not need it to be perfect. And it's funny because, all the new age types, we like to say, well, everything's perfect. Like right now in this moment, everything is perfect. But that is a different definition of, I've controlled everything in a way that it is the outcome that I wanted. the bow is tied with exactly this way. Otherwise that flower arrangement cannot be acceptable. Like those are different versions of perfect. So I think it's fun to know that actually it will all be perfect, but it might not be the way we thought. Just like this live today, like we had it all set up and we even had it tested when plan A didn't work. Plan B was perfect and it still didn't go. But you know what? Here we are. The message is being done. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. We have another comment. Barbara, who was also in the class at the time, she said she can't wait for the event that's coming up. She goes, the one that we did in the class was awesome and amazing and magical. So thank you, Barb, for that comment.
That's magical. That's what comes to my mind.
We were trying to create a name of it, and then I think Sheila's got the name with magical or magical musical messaging. Is that what you ended up calling it? I don't remember.
Some version of that, yes. Which I think kind of does encapsulate what it is. So
yeah.
Musical message magic. We'll like draw them out of a hat to determine the order.
Well, we were originally talking about musical flow because it was the idea of just the channeling as music, but the channeling as spoken, and there's a flow to it. So I don't know. I like the original broadcast that we were supposed to go through had the name on it, and I was like, that's kind of good. I like that. So introducing magical messages. I don't know, musical magical messages. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm getting caught up with the details of things. This is very much
let it go. Yeah. So what should people know? Tell us again when this event is, what time, what date, how long is it?
Well, we have it done for an hour time slot. That's just a buffer area. I don't know. The longest that James has channeled for, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, James, is 30 minutes or 35 minutes.
Yeah, I think 35 minutes is about.
Yeah. And I can go for twice that amount of time at least. But I don't want to push him. So so how it's typically going to start. So this is first I'll talk about the date and time. And so December 15th, so that's Friday, next Friday. And it's at noon Eastern, and it'll be for an hour-ish. And we'll post the link in the description of the videos wherever we pop this video, for people to sign up if they're interested. And again, it's free, so just come in. And what we want to do is try it with a larger group, because we've been playing behind the scenes with just the three of us, and getting moments of channeling. But like Sheila says, we pop in and then we're like, nope, it's too crackly, it's too this, and it's like the message was like flowing whatever it was saying, and I just like I can't handle it. It's me that
the last, that's right, the last one, it was crackling. You're like, no way, can't do it, I can't do it.
Well, the last one
I can see her flinch every time. It's like
yeah, the last one we did was 25 minutes, and it has crackles, but I was just like, forget it. The message was meant to come through. Luckily, we recorded it as separate files of music and my speaking, so that we will play with in some capacity, if we can figure out how to deal with the lovely crackling. I was going to say something before and it fell out of my head, but I don't know what it was.
Well,
so
I think the hour, Danay, that's a good, for me, it feels like I can go longer now, so it's going to be interesting. I'm excited just to see what happens.
I think and so I think what I was going to say before was kind of be the structure of the call. Once we get into it, is I get James to start so that there's a little musical prelude, I guess is what you would call it, and then I hop in, and then the music is interwoven into the messaging, and then when I sign off with my usual sign off, then he continues the music. So,
Yeah,
and
it's so powerful. Yeah, to have the music start and finish it, it's just like the perfect. It's like when you tap a gong, and that the vibrations just keep going and going and going, and then as it tapers off, it just makes it feel so complete.
yeah.
Mhm.
And what people don't know is Sheila will have a gong at the event.
Things are possible. Who knows?
So we have a comment here from Mark. It says, so cool you're doing this. This sort of channeling play and mixing energies, I'm sure, is the sort of thing that will be in common as we continue to do this magical ride.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good point too. And I was reflecting on just, how everything sort of has come together. And to me, these are the moments where these synchronicities just happen out of the blue, right? Not out of the blue, but you know what I mean? It's just the magic occurs when it occurs, and then you go with the flow. And to me, that's the fun part. And it's yeah, to me it's exciting.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is like be ready just for anything when you come to this event, because like we have no idea. So more comments. Mark says if we both record locally, perhaps outside of Zoom, you can mix it later. And he says I sometimes record with different software during a Zoom meeting, and I have a clean copy of that. So yeah, and I have such a noisy environment that Zoom suppression really helps me out. But if the other two have something where they can do that, that might work. And then Barbara says that I'm so funny. So thank you. She says,
Barb, you made her day. She loves to be funny.
I am funny. She says, you are funny, and it's M&M and the Crackle Pop cereal that just popped into my mind. LOL. So yes, Snap Crackle Pop is literally, like, the channel itself was about self-forgiveness, and the 25-minute one that we did, and then Snap Crackle Pop makes an appearance to be part of the fun. So
that was good.
We still have to up our sleeve. We're going to find a way so that we do not need to invite Snap Crackle Pop. Oh, people are private messaging me that they have gongs. So you know what? It is going to be in person at some point. We will gather up the gongs and we will have the piano available. It's going to be an amazing experience. Date to be determined, 11/11 here. So we just let's call it done. This time next year, there will have been an in-person retreat where we will have we will have a box of Kleenex per person just to make sure.
Yeah. So Barb adds an addendum. She meant all of us. I don't know what she means by all of us.
That we're all funny, because we know I'm funny for sure.
Who's Snap?
Maybe that's
Pop.
That's a good question.
I'll be Snap.
I want to be Snap.
Okay.
Yeah, you are Snap. I'll be Pop and James is Crackle.
I'll be Crackle. Okay.
Thanks, Barb. We'll get some t-shirts made up.
Yeah, so we are going to do something. So anybody who's outside of Canada, get ready to come see Canada, because there's going to be a retreat. I'm serious. There's going to be a retreat. James and I are looking at venues to get this going when it's not a Canadian winter. But
well, we don't have snow all over the place.
Well, I mean, yeah, unless people want to come in the snow, but somebody's got to come pick me up because I'm not driving it.
Yeah, by the time we get it all arranged, the weather will be perfect in terms of being beautiful and balmy, and we can do outdoor activities. And Ontario is a great choice because it is so beautiful, but we'll find something most likely on the east side of North America. It's very convenient for most people because there's just so many darn people over there, and you two are both there, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and there'll be an airport nearby. Like James we've been looking at places, and getting the equipment sorted and figuring all that stuff out. I gotta get a mic. We've got Kelly chiming in. She's saying definitely summer.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
So it actually gets really warm here. People don't understand. If you're of the Fahrenheit
It's too
family,
hot.
we can hit 80s, 90s, even higher here. So that happens, but we can also go like, in Celsius, for those who understand Celsius, will go from -40 to +40. So that is Canada. Canada is hot and cold. It's like Katy Perry.
All right. How would we like to wrap up this chat? Any last words? Any final comments?
I'm super excited about it. I'm really, this is new territory, and it's exciting, and I just think the word magic is perfect.
Yeah, definitely needs to fit in there. I invited them all to my place, as you can tell. They're hanging out in my living room with me. No, come see the event online, and just enjoy. I mean, I was gonna write in the note, bring a box of Kleenex, but like I didn't want to set people up with that frequency.
Just have a little hanky handy. That's all. Just a little.
No, it's gonna be great. Again, December 15th, so next Friday, because this Friday is December 8th, and at noon Eastern, so that's 5 Greenwich Mean Time, and that is 9 Pacific, for those who like those as anchoring points in time. But again, in the video description, if you're watching the replay, or you can come check out after and see, we'll throw it in there. And this will be on my channel, as it is right now. Sheila, will it be on your channel? Will this one be on your channel?
We can put a recording, yes. Although we know that your channel has all the best people.
Are you subscribed to my channel? Because that you're the best people.
That's true. That's true. I count myself among the best. Yes, we'll put the link wherever we can. I think it's going to be an amazing event. So it's be a great gift to offer yourself to be there.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. Kelly says she's so looking forward to the magic, and as are we. But we have no idea. So just come in with an open mind and be ready to play. If some of you feel inspired, bring some paper and coloring pencils and color and doodle while we do this thing. Like,
fun.
Have some fun. So, yeah. So.
All right, we did it.
Hooray!
We were wanting to do. We did it. Not smoothly with any finesse, but we made it in the end.
Oh, just people find it endearing, I'm sure. If they're used to my energy, this is not a surprise to them.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks to everybody who tuned in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And, stay tuned to the next live. Sheila and I probably do another one before we have the event. So we have lots of things to share. We have a list. So
always. Yes. It's so much fun. All right. I'm going to figure out how to turn it off. Oh, I see how to do it. Okay. See, that wasn't hard. We got this. All right. Cheers, everyone.